Now, we did get that August jobs report this morning. Now, last month in August, the U.S. economy added 130,000 non-farm payrolls. That is compared to 160,000 that was expected. So that is a miss, but many are trying to focus already on some brighter parts. Unemployment remains the same at 3.7%. Also, the labor force participation rate ticked up slightly. Now, as Peter Bookvar of Bleakley Advisory Group commented in a note this morning, companies have taken a timeout on hiring until visibility becomes less cloudy, and that's only prudent. Joining us to talk more about this jobs report is our own Brian Sozzi. There he is.
Yeah.
Wow. Soz, what do you make? You know, when you see a miss by 30,000, you might think, well, this is very bad, but market's kind of mixed right now because I think some people are saying, no, it's not so bad. It's not so doom and gloom.
Well, keep in mind, ahead of this report, we saw Dow futures up about 115 points. So I think we just need to call a spade a spade. This was not a good report. And we just had BNP Paribas, US CEO, on with us. And he said CEOs are getting worried. It's unclear if they will start laying people off. But when CEOs are worried, they're not planning for their future. And the bottom line is that the trade war is starting to put a stranglehold on the U.S. economy. We may not like to say it. That's what this report suggests.
I want to mention, too, that in addition to the miss in August, the previous 2 months were both revised downward.
Yeah, and I think what you'll hear, a lot of notes come out today, and a lot of people start talking about, this will argue for a 50 basis point rate cut. But newsflash, folks, rate cuts won't necessarily jumpstart the economy overnight. That's just not how it works, and investors have to come to terms with that.
But isn't the August jobs report usually the worst, essentially, of the year? I mean, it's the end of the year. A lot of people are away on vacations. Most time, I think 8 times out of 10, the August jobs report has actually been revised higher. I know the last 2 were revised lower, but the August report usually gets a little bit of a bump after the revision.
Dog days.
Right. So, I mean, should we really be freaking out so much?
Well, fair point. But coming into this report, I think a lot of people on Wall Street were looking for some big numbers. Consensus was about 160K, but I saw some notes calling for at least 200,000. I don't know what they were looking at. I don't know if they've been looking at the manufacturing numbers, but to use your term, Heidi, a lot of people bulled up coming into this report.
Totally bulled up. So looking at the specific sectors, though, can you break that down for us? I know a lot of people were watching for the manufacturing sector and the retail numbers.
Manufacturing was weak. Retail was down 11,000. Overall, government kind of saved the day. The disappointment here is starting to look like the private sector. Private sector job creation, only 96,000. Not that great. Great that we created jobs. 96K is not where this market traded up into this report.
You and I have been talking about this on a number of our live shows, but when we talk about retail, which lost 11,000 jobs, it seems to me that with everything going on, the holiday season, and I said this on the final round, and Miles Edlin said, oh, we say this every year, but this time, really, it's true. The holiday shopping season, it seems, is more crucial than it's been in a long time.
Well, it's going to be a real test on how consumers can handle or navigate a trade war. They have largely sidestepped a lot of price increases, but those price increases, they're coming, and they're likely to start in October because of these new tariffs.
So is this a stamp on the official 25 basis point cut coming at the end of this month? Then is it guaranteeing that essentially?
Well, I don't want to steal Brian Chung's prediction thunder here, but yes, I think it's likely you do get that 25 basis point insurance cut. The real question is, do you get 50 basis points? And if you do get 50 basis points, that might cause all hell to break loose in the markets, because that is not what you normally do if everything was fine in the economy.
Right, and I don't think Powell wants to do that.
No.
Ideally. All right, Sozzi, thanks.
See you soon.